Hello everyone, this is Ryan Mallory for SharePointer doing another market wrap up as well as going over some charts, trade setups, and some lessons learned from the day of trading. So we got May 1st. The popular expression goes, sell in May, go away. So you have to ask yourself, is that something we're likely to see? Now, the trading plan that I put together this morning, I stated that there was probably a good chance that with the beginning of the month we would see another strong day, and we saw that, but then we saw it taper off at the end too. But overall, it was still, a strong up day. Every month so far this year has seen some pretty positive gains to start the month. So, you have a trend there. You might as well assume that's going to continue to happen until, well, proven otherwise. So the S&P E-mini contract today. Just looking at it here, obviously you got the trend line that was broken. You got what we talked about being the double top here, the breakout above resistance there. So we're actually doing a pretty good job of, and we came into the day like flat, and then we had a good ISM number, and we took off from there. We're actually holding this the support level that we broke through pretty well. So that's a good sign for the markets. I know people don't like the idea of selling off at the end of the day like we did, but that happens. Not a huge fan of the upper shadow, but overall there was no technical damage done on the daily charts, so you have to still assume that the market's bias is to move up at this point. Looking at the NASDAQ, you have a similar consolidation pattern after breaking out of the bull flag. Obviously, the results in the NASDAQ were not as good as what we saw in the S&P, but nonetheless, I don't see this as a area of concern. If we have another couple of days of further downside, then we might start needing to think about this being a complete head fake out of this bear or the bull flag pattern, and but right now that's neither here nor now. So let's just keep looking at the fact that we have broken out, that we are keeping this downward support level intact, and I would still keep trading up here as well on the NASDAQ. The Dow, man, it's like what is it going to take to get this thing to break out to new highs? Because just zooming in here, you can see we did it at intraday, but you would have liked to have seen us, closed right above that line. And when I talk about closing at new highs, I like to clear all the previous intraday stuff too. So you could say that, hey, we did pretty good today. We closed at new recovery highs, but from the intraday standpoint, I like to clear it all. So, yesterday today we needed to have cleared, the highs from back in late March. We didn't do that, so that's where we're at today. More importantly, and I got about 7-8 minutes that I want to spend doing this. I want to look at some of the trades real quickly. I got out of GCA today. It was a long position that I did have gains for a while there. I never sold any of the position. I wanted to let it run because it was only like 2 or 3% in gain, so I wanted to give it every opportunity to break out and all that. But I could have probably stayed in it longer, but with the action that we saw in the last 2 days, it just did not show much gumption to want to follow through to new highs. So I basically just cut it out. I'm not going to waste my time with it, especially today when the market's rallying. This thing did absolutely nothing, so it didn't cut it, so it's gone. Clorox, it's reporting earnings tomorrow, and I'm not going to play that game. Anytime I try to play the earnings game, you got a pretty good shot at being badly wrong, and yeah, you can make some quick money off of being right on the earnings, but more times than not, if you keep trying to play the earnings game in a way of rolling the dice, you're not going to do well. So I got out for like a 0.25% gain. On the previous chart we looked at, GCA, I got out for 1.1% loss. Let's look at some charts that I got into today. AXS. can see here, very nice upward trend line that just recently got broken. I'm shorting this because I didn't want to be too bullish going overnight, but so I have about 3 longs, 2 shorts. I wanted to have 4, but the GCA just really bombed out on me today. Otherwise, had GCA been able to hold on to its gains, I would have gone 4 long, 2 short overnight. But beautiful uptrend, breaks it suddenly and swiftly, and it comes back, and it actually tried to regain that trend line. This is what got me into it. You see here, look at that upper shadow there. It could not get back above that trend line. So I'm shorting it mainly as a hedge against my 3 other long positions. And then I got into one other short play here, KCG. This one's been dynamite, guys. Look at this. And I've played it one other time, but well, I wish I would have seen this thing sooner because, and I talked about this last night, this thing just cannot break through that resistance. And maybe it does it tomorrow when I'm short in it, I don't know, but I'm going to keep trying it until it proves me wrong. So I got into this at 1340, it's at 1327, so I'm up about 1% on it right now, and we'll see if we get some further downside to it tomorrow. Alright, let's look at ST here. So you got this nice little run up here. You may have a head and shoulders pattern. You got the left shoulder, head, sort of a mumble jumbled right shoulder, but that the support line on this thing held, as you can see here, and but the other pattern I want you to look at is this bear or bull flag pattern. So you see that? It's trying to break through that right now. I mean, tomorrow we get any kind of good news, this thing should pop over that resistance level, get in around 33.05. You probably get in there as late as 33.10, and then try to ride that thing up. So my target would be is let's see if it can get up to 35. Stop loss, I wouldn't let it get below 31.50 before I got out of that thing. So I like it from the bull flag pattern. Yes, you do have that head and shoulders thing there, but so far that support level is held. If it comes back down, let's say you decide to pass on this trade, and if it comes back down to this 31.50, I'd go long there too. I'd see if that support level can hold like it's done in the past. WDC, let's look at this one. We had talked about this last night, and just wanted to review it. I don't think there's really a trade there at this point, but if you see the support level, gosh, I mean, I should have pulled it. No doubt I should have pulled the trigger on this, but solid update in this thing. I mean, beautiful. I mean, there's a good chance this thing might try to go back up here and fill the gap, but I wouldn't play it now, but it's worth pointing out. EMR. This is a double bottom play. You got the first double bottom, and then you got a pretty nasty sell-off in it today. So you're looking to see if this thing is going to double there. You might want to wait 1 to 2 days to see if it can consolidate there. If it does, go long on it. Obviously, the stop loss is pretty cut and dry. If it makes new lows, even on an intraday basis, get out of the thing. Alright, let's look at CLGX. A lot of good things going on about this one. And this is going to be a strong candidate for me to get long in tomorrow. Perfect uptrend. You see that? Then you got consolidation here. Alright. Yeah, it hasn't really broken decisively through it. Then if you want to zoom in closer on it, you got a little bull flag pattern there in the last couple days. So, you got intermediate resistance right there. You got a bull flag pattern here. You got a long-term trend line that we just talked about. So a lot of positive things converging, and if it can break out above that 1691, 1692 level, you should see a nice flood of buyers coming back into the stock, and it should go well into the 17s, maybe even 18 if you hold on to it for a few days. So my target on this I wouldn't hold it past this level here. If it got up to 19, sell it and move on. That's a pretty long ways away from now. Stop loss 1654. I wouldn't hold it. 1651. Don't hold it if it goes below that. And then your entry is obviously about 1692. So very good risk reward. Make that a prime stock on your watch list for tomorrow. That's going to do it for tonight. Once again, we went over a number of stocks, went over some of the indices, went over some trades that I made. If you have any questions, hit me up in the chat room tomorrow. I'll be there all day, as always. And if you have any questions that you just want to email me, do it at ryan@shareplanner.com. You'll have a great evening.